How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody's doing well. Come on in, come on in. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. I appreciate you guys showing up, supporting as always. Love you guys. I think we have a really great show tonight. Um, Rashad, who was here a few weeks ago, he's going to be back with us speaking, giving us some powerful insight. Bear with me for a moment as I try to give everybody a chance to chime in, to log in. As we get ready to get started, as usual, I like to give a brief breakdown on how this show all came together. Several months back, I was going through what I would call a tough time myself, and while going through it, uh, you know, God kind of spoke to me and said, "Hey, there are other people going through things similar. Why don't you be the one to kind of create a platform for other people similar to yourself, just to know that it's okay not to be okay, and create that conversation because there's just so much going on within the minority community where we stigmatize mental health and we don't create the discussion to normalize it and help people understand that this is a part of everyday life. So went back and forth. Had a wonderful friend of mine, Jen, who really encouraged me. She's one of those brutally honest friends that I have, and I appreciate her immensely because she gives me that kick in the pants, you know, when I need it. And we all need friends like that. I say it all the time. I want friends around me that are going to tell me the truth, not what I want to hear. And she is indicative of that. She will tell me what I need to hear. I mean, what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. And over the past few weeks, we've talked about uh, different aspects of suicide as it relates to mental health. Um, and right now, for this week's show, it's called Renewing Hope. And this is and the way I envision it is the other side of those that are contemplating harming themselves or harming someone else. How do we renew our hope? How do we see? Uh, hey, Selena, good evening. Thank you as always for supporting me, sis. And how do we find that other side? And we have good brother Rashad here, Rashad Hayes, who's going to help us with that. But he's going to give us some powerful insight as he did the last time he was here. He did such a great job. I had to get him back, and he had a busy weekend this weekend, but he made time for us, and I greatly appreciate it. And without further ado, I'm going to bring Rashad in.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, bro?
Hey, appreciate you for inviting me back on the show, man. You got me feeling special, man. You got me feeling special.
Hey, man, this man, you did such a great job, and your energy, I loved, and I was like, man, I've got to bring it back. I got to bring it back. And as I go through my topics, I try to find the person that fits that, that's just kind of like in their wheelhouse. And when I thought about renewing the topic, renewing your hope, I was like, he's a motivational speaker, and he talks about the lows and the highs and those things. And I was like, I felt like you were the perfect fit. And so your story is just so so compelling, that in of itself. So if you can't find hope listening to your story, you might need to check your pulse. So but for how's the family?
Family's doing good. Like I said, can't complain. All is well.
Mm-hmm.
It's truly, like I said, just enjoying every day, man. That's the best thing I can say.
Awesome. 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 Hey, Monica, how you doing? Thanks for continuing to support as always. So with this topic, renewing your hope, and of course it's a very broad topic, and but as I was saying to the viewers, it came for me from we talked about suicide prior in some prior shows, and the last show we talked about you know excuse me domestic violence, mental health, and two things I pointed out was the incident in Milwaukee. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, where the young man uh, killed his girlfriend, and someone tried to help. He killed that person, then he ultimately killed himself. So we talked a lot about the ugly truth of mental health, and now I want to talk about, for those people that are in those spaces, how do they find the hope? How do they renew that hope in themselves and humanity and all that? And so, and I know it's a broad topic, so I wanted to kind of, just like a tree, let's kind of chop it down a little bit and
Okay.
see.
So first and first, I think we got to get a definition of hope.
Uh huh.
Where we all can be on the same page.
Okay.
The one thing I think about hope is that that feeling, or that expectation, or that just that desire, like that dream. It's like, oh man, I can't wait for that to become a reality. Like that feeling of being
Mm-hmm.
in the candy store, being able to choose whatever candy you want. Like I think once we look at hope as that way, we find a reason to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like for that certain thing to happen, it's almost like if I got $1 million right now, I know my life gonna change.
Right.
And it's like that's how hope kind of works. It's like it's giving us that positive attitude, looking toward the future and
Mm-hmm.
being able to kind of see better days, because
Right.
you and I both know every day ain't always a good day.
Right. Right.
It's gonna
Exactly.
rain sometimes, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be painful. But when
Mm-hmm.
we have hope, it's like an umbrella. That's the
Mm-hmm.
perfect example. It's like an umbrella.
Awesome.
I'm not gonna get wet. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? I'm walking in the storm, but I know that hope is gonna keep me going. And
Right.
so that's yeah, I'm excited for this topic. As you can see, I'm all about the energy, and because
Right.
hope is what saved my life.
Right.
Imagine being told you got cancer at 21.
Right.
But, and you got the rest of your life to live. What you gonna do? You gotta have hope. Or
Right.
imagine playing football and then it just gets taken away from you. Like
Mm-hmm.
you gotta be able to renew that hope. And so
Right.
I'm excited, man. That's
Uh-huh.
as you can tell, I'm excited. I'm fired up.
Listen, I when I went through it, and I knew, I thought about it, I was like, Rashad's energy is just so infectious, and if you can't grab anything from it, and your story is so compelling, you said, hope is like an umbrella, and that is a very powerful analogy. You know, they're not always sunshine and gray skies and blue
Right,
skies. They're not always, but if whether it's a big umbrella or a small umbrella, it keeps the rain off you. It ain't even got to be
yes,
the best umbrella, but it keeps
yes,
the rain off you. It helps you get through those rainy days.
right,
And hope comes in a lot of different forms. And it just may be, that, hey, I know this ain't gonna last forever. I know there are people that love me, so I've
right,
got to fight. That you know, your support system may be that little bit of hope that you need to renew yourself.
right,
Who know? I can't speak for anyone to say what their hope has to be, because everybody has to kind of dig within themselves. Some people's hopes may be, I want to prove every person wrong that doubted me and said I couldn't be where I am right now.
right.
So that's and that's just me brainstorming from what you just said. Trying to, everybody figuring out what their hope is.
Okay, and I think that's a very important thing to do, because we're
Hmm.
not going to have the same, we're not going to have the same definition of hope.
Hmm.
Because like you said, it's such a broad topic, but we just got to figure out what's the thing that works best for us. What's the thing that keeps us going? What's the thing
Hmm.
that's going to keep us smiling?
Right.
And sometimes you just gotta put your head down and just keep knowing that it's going to be better. It's going to
Hmm.
get better. And I
Hmm.
think another thing I like to tell people about hope is it's like hope is like having a phone with no battery charge, right?
Hmm.
But and let me I know people are like, what is he talking about? So let me rephrase that. So if hope is like a phone with no battery charge, that means I still got to put in work to connect that charger to that phone.
Right.
So hope alone doesn't just work. So it's
Mhm.
like you got to put in these goals, you got to put in some work, and then that's when hope really begins to do what it's supposed to do. See, because when you start seeing success, you like, oh man, yeah, I can do it. You started running a little faster because you see that
Mhm.
finish line.
Right.
If you just got that umbrella and it ain't raining, what you need it for? You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And so
Right.
that's why I said there's so many ways we could talk about hope, but we got to figure out how does hope work for you? You know,
Mhm.
what does it look like to you? You know,
Mhm.
and I think that's what, once you figure that out, man, life is, man, believe it or not, I smile when I go through stuff. Like
Uh-huh.
when I got trials and tribulations, I smile because I know, like, yeah, I'm about to renew my hope. Like I'm telling you, I'm finna go to the next level. And then
Right.
I know it's crazy to think like that, but for me, that's what saved my life. That's what got me out of those tough times
Mhm.
because I knew I was built for it. I was built to last and go through it.
Right. And based on what you're saying, you really said something interesting in a manner, because it's all about how you look at a situation.
Right,
Because so many people look at situations from such a negative aspect. When something derogatory or negative happens to you, you automatically feed into the negative aspects of it.
right,
But your mindset is, okay, yeah, I know I'm finna get stronger from this.
right.
I'm gonna get better from this, and that renews you that much more. And I I guess for those that don't have the strength that you have, because look, you're in the top 10 percentile. you know how what words would you have for those that aren't quite ready to be at that level yet?
So I would say you got to trust in your ability to adapt, your
Mhm.
ability to adjust. Now, my favorite cooking show is Chopped. I don't know if you've seen Chopped, but
Uh-uh.
with Chopped, they got all these ingredients, but they got to make a meal out of it. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? So they got to take what they have and
Right.
create some 5-star dish to it. And I think that's what we got to do in life.
Hmm.
Because not all of us gonna have that $1 million we need to make our dreams come true. Some of
Hmm.
us got to start off with 100. And being able to be creative and trying to figure out how do I make this work. And so I think for me, what worked for me is I had to learn how to adapt because unfortunately I grew up with a lot of stuff that I didn't have. You know what I'm saying? So like I had to figure out how to make a $20 stretch when I was in college. I
Hmm.
had to learn how to turn ramen noodles to a gourmet meal because I got tired of eating ramen noodles.
Right.
But
Right.
just being able to adapt and adjust is what allowed me to have that my version of hope. And so
Hmm.
now I look at it as okay, like I said before, when I go through something, I get excited because I know I'm finna learn something new. And
Hmm.
so then now I add that to the toolbox. And now
Hmm.
when life happens, I know I got the right tools to pull it out. And I think what most people don't think about is that they get so caught up and take it personal with the things they go through that they don't realize what is this situation trying to teach us? What is this
Hmm.
situation what tool is the situation trying to give us? Because we're
Hmm.
gonna see it again. We're
Hmm.
going to see it again. And I
Hmm.
think that's why it goes so well with hope because it's almost like, yeah, I get to keep building. I'm building the empire. Everybody want to build an empire till it's time to build an empire. You know, and we're gonna call a spade on that one.
Right. 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 Everybody claims they're ready to put in work till it's time for their work to be done.
Yes.
Got you. Got you. And I think you really hit home, because you're like, okay, these situations are preparing you for something else. They're
Right.
giving you that tool in the toolbox that you're going to need at a
Right.
later date. And I'll give you one better. A friend of mine told me one time, he said, sometimes you go through situations not for you, but
Hey.
for someone else, for you to help someone else later on down the line. And I was like, you know what? I never thought about it that way. But it takes that selflessness, that selfish part of it out, because now, as opposed to thinking me,
Right.
you think, well, shoot, I've got a lesson I need to learn so I can help someone else, whether it be friend, family member, child, or it may be some stranger later on in life that you can bless by sharing your story with them, or you being able to guide them through whatever. Because
Right.
God puts people in your life at the oddest of times.
I mean, you're absolutely right. And I think that's what led me to get into motivational speaking. everything I was going through. And it's just like one day I just said, you know what? Let me stop saying me, me, me. What if
Hmm.
I got to go through this to help somebody else? And so I changed my perspective. And now everything I do, like, you follow me on TikTok, like you see the videos I make to
Hmm.
let everybody know, like, hey, you're not alone.
Right.
I got through it. And it goes back to empathy. I'm gonna sit in the hole with you and be like, hey, let's
Hmm.
figure this out. And then when you climb out, because you're gonna fall again.
Hmm.
I'm
Right.
sorry I hate to say it, but we're gonna fall.
We're human.
That's a part of life. We're human.
Hmm.
And I think when we accept that and
Hmm.
then we apply ourselves, man, there's nothing we can't do. Like
Right.
if you told me right now, B Matt, that you want to go to the league, I'm gonna look at you and say, hey, let's get to work. Let's do what we gotta do. Like I'm not gonna tell you what you got to face because you know what you got to face. But
Right.
as long as you got the will to, that means you got some type of belief.
Mhm.
You
Right.
believe in something. And so I
Right.
think that's what I said, man. This topic right here, man, will save a lot of people if
Right.
only they realize the power they have within.
But man, you just said it, the power that they have within. And let's see. Hold on. Selena says she just relayed a lesson from God to a friend day before yesterday that she learned when her dad passed away in 2007. She said, "I told him I went through that so that she helped them, that she helped them in that moment." And it's really crazy. Even some of our worst crises are something that we're being taught something so we can be a blessing to someone else. Like
Right,
Lena just said that she just told this to somebody the other day, and that happened in 2007.
right,
And the moment we begin to look at things from that renewed perspective, as opposed to woe is me, why does this always happen to me? If it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck.
right.
Those negative thought processes. you know uh, those are the type things that keep us from really being able to have hope, or we may have hope, but it ain't strong enough to do anything because we allow that negative energy to weigh us down.
And we pretty much killing our own hope. You know,
Hmm.
we getting rid of ourselves. And just
Hmm.
to go back off of a comment, that's a tool that's in her toolbox now.
Hmm.
So if she ever encounters anybody else that has went through that experience, she's
Hmm.
able to lean on that. She's able to say, hey, this is my
Hmm.
experience when my father passed. And I think that's the beauty of the whole situation.
Hmm. Oh yeah. One of the biggest things, speaking of that, um the loss of a loved one, and we'll just, I'll use that for example because in '04 I lost my mom. We never think that something as significant as that we can get through.
Right,
In those type situations, you have to say, man, look at where I am now. I never would have thought I'd be where I am now. And if
right,
that don't encourage you, I'm sorry, I don't know what will. You,
right,
we have to look at those things that because those are really trying times. And those trying times, it kind of, in a sense, it calluses the spirit. I won't even say the spirit. It calluses that hope to make it stronger.
right.
Because those calluses make it a little tougher. So hey, once that callus builds, hey, I can do a little bit more. I can take a little bit more. What used to hurt me as much, nah. You know what I'm saying? Now that's just like a gnat. Just I'm shooing it off.
Right.
Allow that stuff to callus you in a positive manner.
So you're absolutely right on that, and just to kind of follow up on it, it's almost like working out. When you
Mhm.
first start, it's tough, it's
Mhm.
hard, but
Right.
then you begin to easily push that weight off you, and
Hmm.
before you know it, you're gonna tell yourself, "Yo, all right, I need to move this weight up. I need to go up some,
Hmm.
because this is too easy now." And
Hmm.
so, if you physically challenging yourself, mentally, you got to be able to do the same thing. You got
Mm.
to be able to say, "Hey, all right, I got through this.
Hmm.
What did I learn from this? Because I know something else is coming. So let me
Hmm.
prepare for it. Let me get ready for it. So when it does arrive, I know
Hmm.
exactly how I need to attack it. I think most people don't realize how strong they are. You know,
Mm.
they go through stuff and they look at what they went through instead of looking at how they survived.
Mm.
Once you survive a situation, you got to turn back and say, man, I never realized I had this strength. Let me analyze that. Let me figure that out. But I think most people, again, oh man, woe is me. Oh, I lost everything. Instead of saying, man, despite what just happened to me, I'm still here.
Mm.
Despite what I went through, I'm still able to push through. I might have to start over, but I'm not starting off on blank. I'm not starting over with a blank slate, a blank slate. Like I have the information I need to keep going. Like
Mm.
I can you if you ever lose your car, that won't be the first time. Like that's not. Let me retract. If you lose your car, if your car get repossessed,
Mm.
you know the process it takes to get another car.
Mm.
You might have had emotions tied to that car. You may hurt that you lost that car, but that's not going to stop you from getting another car once you get back on your feet.
Right.
And I think that in particular, you got to know how to be an overcomer. Like you got to
Mm.
know how to bounce back. Like those are the moments I look forward to.
Right. Look, and
And
look. You just said overcomer, and Danielle just said hashtag overcomer in the comments. Great minds think alike.
hey,
And
straight up.
this is why we're sitting here talking. And I'm sitting here, and you'll say something that automatically makes me think of something else. In these type situations, we have to be careful about who we surround ourselves with.
Yes.
And let me hear your thoughts on that.
Man, so I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I say this: I have a lot of associates, but I don't have too many friends.
Mm-hmm.
See, because I need people around me that if I'm going through something, I don't need you to just give me a hand and just lift me up. Sometimes I just need you to allow me to just get to the table and talk with you.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you what I'm going through. Because
Mm-hmm.
again, if you save me, I'm a liability. I'm not saved
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't learn my lesson. I didn't learn why I went through that in the first place. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're there for me, we could sit at a round table and talk about it and say, hey, brother, hey, sister, this situation hurt me. What's your thoughts on it? Okay, what's your thoughts? See, because they're going to give me their thoughts. Now I got to apply it. I don't necessarily want to do everything they say because I still got to be me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's why I tell people, man, you got to watch your circle. I
Mm-hmm.
always talk about the snakes in the grass. If your grass cut, you ain't got to worry about snakes because you won't always see when they're coming.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's my take. Like I have a few. Like I tell folks, my wife is my best friend. She gonna know everything about me from when I wake up to when I go to sleep. Because
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, I know it's certain things I can't tell everybody.
Right.
Because some people may look at it, oh man, you should just give up. I don't need that energy around me.
Right. Right.
And so that's why I said I'm all about protecting my peace because
Mm-hmm.
I do believe energy transfers. If you
Mm.
got a negative mindset and you come around, I got a negative mindset. It's like if you take a rotten fruit and put it right beside a healthy fruit, that rotten fruit is gonna get on that healthy fruit, and now that healthy fruit is gonna start to rotten.
Right.
It's it's gonna happen. And so
Right.
I think that's why, like, I really just be mindful as to who I allow myself, who I allow around me, because everybody can't handle the weight I carry, and
Right.
I know that. And so I don't say that to brag or to be, braggadocious or whatever the case may be, but it's like there's not too many people that can go through what I went through and find a way to be positive. So
Right.
I got to be selective as to who I allow at my table.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, all it takes is one bad apple to ruin the whole table, and now you got to start this whole process again. And so
Exactly.
I'm very picky about who I allow around me and what I feed my mind.
Right.
Sometimes the media, the stuff that we're on right now, the social media, the TV, the television shows, like they want you to be depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're depressed, what's gonna happen? You're gonna be in your room, you're just gonna lay in the bed watching TV all day. And so they want you to do that. So they're gonna feed that to you. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're falling into it, guess
Mm-hmm.
what's gonna happen? You still gonna be there. That
Mm-hmm.
ain't me. I can't do that.
Right.
I gotta get up and get moving.
Mm-hmm. I man, that's awesome. Selena said, "You better preach, Rashad." But man, you are absolutely right. And that circle, it's so important. And I love the way you phrased it. I have a lot of associates, but only a few friends,
Right.
because we have to be careful where we place our energy and the energy we allow to be around us, because that affects our hope more than anything.
Yes.
And 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 I'll give you a case in point. When I went through what I was going through, I have a lot of people that I'm cool with, but I decided I was going to shrink my circle that much more, because I needed a little time with God for Him to kind of work what He needed to work. But when you go through certain things, you have those friends that are going to automatically rally around you, and they
Right.
got your back, and they can't always tell you, hey, well, they're going to be partial
Right.
to whatever situation is. Oh, well, we riding, and every situation, not that situation where you need a friend to ride. Sometimes it's that you need a friend to say, all right, let's be diplomatic. I need you to focus on this.
Right.
And we have to be we have to be careful about those things. And we got to know when we need to draw the circle close to us and when we need to take a step from the circle so we can evaluate it and really make sure we're on point.
Right.
So um
You said a good you bring up a good topic because half of the time, majority of the time, it's not the circle, it's us. And if we want people to be yes men or yes women and just agree with everything we say, then that means we allow that to happen in our circle.
mm-hmm.
My boys, they know if I go ghost, that means I'm under construction. I'm in the oven right now. I got
Right.
something baking, like I got something great happening. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean I'm not going to reach out and say I'm good, but at that time, now I can't go out with you, fam. Now like I can't do that. I gotta process right now. It's almost like when a woman is pregnant, she gonna
Mm-hmm.
carry that baby for 9 months till that baby is due, and
Mm-hmm.
so when that happens, there's certain things that she's not going to do anymore. It's certain things that she focused on protecting that baby. So
Right.
when you hurting, when you're going through something, you got to treat that hope the same way. Because if anybody comes around and they get to pulling on your hope,
Mm-hmm.
how you gonna bounce back from that? How
Right.
you move forward without hope? Because then how do you live? That's like going to your job without getting paid. I don't know nobody that would want to go to work and not get paid. We can all say, "Oh, I love my job," but how
Mm-hmm.
many of us would be willing to go to work without getting paid? That we can't. I mean,
Yeah.
unless somebody's paying our bills. Other than that, we can't.
Right. Exactly. And listen, that is, man, hope is what pays us.
Exactly. It keeps us going. It keeps
Keeps us
us
going.
striving for better.
Mm-hmm.
Like perfect analogy. If you start off in an apartment, let's say you slept in your car and you first get that first apartment, you like, oh man, this is amazing. But eventually you're gonna start to outgrow that apartment. And so you're gonna want something better. But without hope, let's say you don't have no hope, let's say you don't have no desire, no expectations of greater, you
Mm-hmm.
get comfortable. And now you starting to get frustrated because it seems like everything around you is getting smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Everything around you is not really doing what you needed to do, but it's because you lost that sense of hope. Like that hope is that being able to dream. Like I'm gonna tell you now, one day, whether it's 10 years from now, whether it's tomorrow, I'm gonna have me a big old house on the lake. Like I'm telling you, like I know, and
Right.
that right there is what keeps me going because when I'm
Mm-hmm.
ready to quit, when I'm ready to give up, when I'm
Mm-hmm.
ready to say, you know what, I'm done. I think about that house. I think about that dream car. I think about that finances to be able to stop what I'm doing and go travel. Like hope is a good thing. Hope is a beautiful thing. Like we gotta protect hope and put that on our put that in our heart to say, you know what? No
Mm-hmm.
matter what I go through, I'm gonna lean on hope. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
lean on faith. I know God got something special for me, so I'm gonna trust His plan. But I got to do my part too.
Right.
I got to do my part because if I take some soap and put it on some dishes, that ain't gonna clean itself. I got
Right.
to put in some work. I got to scrub them dishes to get them clean. The
Right.
soap just helps. You know what I'm saying? And so, but let me stop. I'm gonna go on and back off. You know how I get when I get hyped. I can't
Listen,
help
listen.
it.
I am loving it because you're bringing it as I knew you would because people need that energy. Hope is not one of those issues where we just talk matter of fact. You need it. You need that enthusiasm and that passion behind it with it because to understand what hope is and to understand how important it is, I can't just sit here and say, well, hope is really what you need to get to the next level. People are going to hear it, but are they going to receive it? Versus you're
Right.
like, man, listen, hope is that house that I want. Hope is that car. Hope is to be able to, you know, the the way it's received completely different. And that's why I really felt like you would be able to bring it home because it's a topic that I felt like would hit home for you. And because of the way that you speak, I knew that you'd be great for this. Now, the one thing I'm going to say is this, you know, and I'm gonna make this a little tough for you,
Okay.
but I know you can have it. If you were at like a boys or girls home right now, and you had to talk to those kids about hope because they're in a pretty tough situation,
Right.
how would you address them?
The first thing I would say, is you have everything to gain.
Mm-hmm.
You already been through everything. You've been through some tough situations. You have everything to gain. You deserve a better life. You put in the work, you put in the sacrifices. So now it's about doing what you got to do and learning the right way, so then we can become the people we desire to be. And that'll be exactly what I say. And then not only that, I would tell them how I used to be the kid that grew up in the ghetto. I used to
Mm-hmm.
be the kid that when my mom had to go work 2 jobs, I was the oldest, so I had to take care of my siblings. And the one thing I had was hope. Like I would be able to share those stories, and then I'll be able to say, "Hey, that one thing I had in hope was the one thing that led me to getting two degrees, a master's, having my own business." So it's like being able to just let them know, like, "Yo, I've been where you've been," but I don't. Not only have I been there, I made the decision to keep moving. I made a decision to keep going. So that's what I would tell them. You have everything to gain. Everybody's trying to take from you. Everybody's trying to put a label on you. You have everything to gain and prove everybody wrong. So for me, that's what I get excited about. Like, I want you to bet against me. I love being the underdog. Like, I want you to tell me what I can't do. Because when I do it, you got to put a little respect on my name. You're gonna have to. And that's why, like, I keep that going. Like, I'm not supposed to be where I am, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be honest with you. If you
Mm-hmm.
look at statistics, I'm not supposed to be where I am. But I said, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna put in some work. If I
Mm-hmm.
fail, it's because I'm a fail trying. It won't be because I listen to statistics or I chose to go the easy route. No, I'm gonna put in work and make it work. And that's why I am the man I am today.
Man, whoo. Listen, I love you, the whole approach, and you said, man, I would tell them it's all up from here. It's up. You've been through the toughest of times,
Right.
and you took their reality and made it a positive thing.
Yes.
I love the way that you did that, because again, it's so easy to focus on the negative. You took their reality and made it positive. Like, look, you've already seen some of the toughest of times. All you got to do is just push forward now.
Right.
Those people that doubted you, let them doubt you. You know, get your victory by proving them wrong.
Right.
Learn what you need to do to be successful. One step at a time. You know, don't allow yourself to wallow in that pity of, oh man, I ain't never had nothing. Okay, well, guess what? You ain't the only one that ain't never had nothing. You know, I grew up poor, you grew up poor, but we decided what we were going to do with our lives.
Right.
We determined the trajectory. Not We didn't allow our circumstances to determine that.
You made me think about something too when we was going back to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
When talking to them, I always like to tell kids, that's what I kind of specialize in, is talking to the youth. And I tell
Uh-huh.
them, I said, hey, you don't have any control of what you're going through right now.
Mm.
It's not like you're going to work. You got to go to school. But imagine what happens when you get through school and you're able to go get that job you want. You ain't got to live the way you live now.
Mm.
And so that's why I try to tell people, it's almost like you got to realize where you are at that
Mm-hmm.
moment. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the work you put in. And it's no knock to any parents, because I know being a parent, or I can imagine being a parent is hard. I
Mm-hmm.
can imagine the sacrifices that parents make on a regular basis, and I want to salute to all the ones, and a round of applause to the ones that make that for their children to have a better life. But I
Mm-hmm.
also think those are the conversations that some parents got to have with their kids,
Mm-hmm.
because if you never tell a kid what's going on, they may get caught up in that mindset. Oh, I gotta have that fast money. Oh, I gotta do this. Oh, well, so and so got the new J's, and maybe if I stand on the corner, I can get this, and maybe if I do that. So it's a lot of stuff, a lot of dynamics that go through it. But if we teach
Mm-hmm.
our kids to have hope and to realize that when a power gets in their hands to make the right decisions, man, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a beautiful sight, and I can't wait for that day,
Mm-hmm.
because it's coming.
It's coming. You're right.
It's it's different when you're on your mom's cell phone plan. You got to get the phone she wants you to get. But when you get your own, you go ahead and get that iPhone 12 or that iPhone 13, because you can afford it. You know what you in control now. And that's how I look at hope when it comes to that situation.
Man, that's I really like what your approach to it. And again, I knew that you would do your thing. I knew that Rashad was gonna bring that fire. Look, it's a cross between motivational speaker and preacher. Look, all I need you is to go. But seriously, I really I love that passion, that fire. And I love how you are able to take situations and spin them to find that one silver lining in it, so people can keep driving, keep
Definitely.
stepping forward, because that's what it's about. Because life is not about standing still. It's not about
Right.
going backwards. It's about
Right.
going forward and finding that hope to keep putting that next foot forward.
Right. And it's almost like too, you got to be able to elevate your hope.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to elevate your hope. And what I mean by that is all right, once you accomplish that goal, what's
Mm-hmm.
next? You got to build on it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, even when you think about a house, you got the walls, you got the foundation, but that's not going to do you any good if you ain't got no roof. Because then now you got rain coming in your house and now it's flooded. So it's like being able to visualize, all right, what is it that I want to do? All right, what's the big goal? What's the overarching goal? All right, let's break it down. What's the little steps? How do I get there? When I accomplish this, let me check that off. Let me celebrate, move on to the next thing. And I think when I say hope is so beautiful, man, hope is beautiful. Like I'm telling y'all, for the listeners that's out there, like whatever you want to do, you can make it happen. You just got to believe. You just got to have some hope, and you got to make sure that you put in that work.
Mm-hmm.
You got to. Now, of course, if you ain't putting in no work, you ain't finna get nothing. I'm gonna be honest with you.
All right. Now let's talk about putting in work. I look at hope like faith, because
Right,
faith without works is dead. There's
right,
nothing. When we talk about putting in that work with hope, meaning, okay, well, I want this, I believe in this.
right.
By putting that work, that means we have to be doing those things to kind of help get us there. We have to be laying that
Yes,
groundwork, right?
yes.
Okay. Let me hear your input on that.
So when I refer to putting in that work, it's almost like first you got to know what you want to go get, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to break it down and figure out, okay, where do I start to make that happen? What do I have to do to get to that next point? And so
Mm-hmm.
it's going to take you some time to sit down and really analyze what you want to do. So
Mm-hmm.
I give you the perfect example. So before I even became a motivational speaker, before I even became a social worker, initially I wanted to be a marine biologist. The only problem is I didn't know how to swim, so I knew I couldn't do that, and I knew I wasn't finna try to learn. So I gave that up. I said, all right, cool, scratch off. That's not gonna work. So I had to get back in the drawing board and say, okay, cool, what's next? Then I
Mm-hmm.
started to realize I'm good at talking to people. I kind of like talking to people. Then I after I graduated in undergrad, I said, you know what? I want to go get my master's. And so I didn't want to take the GRE. So when I saw social work, I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna take social work. So what I'm telling y'all is that once you have hope and putting in work, you got to sit back and figure out how do you get to your goals? How do you get to your dreams? And you got to allow time to do its time. You got to allow time. Again, I'm gonna say that again. You got to allow time to do its time. See, because many people say I want this and think it's gonna happen tomorrow. Nah, you got to see, okay, how long is this gonna take? And this is why I always tell people don't burn your cake. Like, how long is this going to take to finish? How long is it going to take for me to keep going through this? And then when I get to smell that success, I'm like, oh, I'm getting closer. I know it's coming. And so when I say put in that work, it's like I go to work every day and do my 8 hours, right? I come home, but I know I got big dreams. So now I'm working for myself. And
Mm-hmm.
now I'm initially just brick by brick, piece by piece, just doing what I got to do to get to that point in life. Because it's going to be a time where I sit back and I'm going to laugh and say, man, all the sacrifices I made, all the work I put in, from the blueprint to the getting the ingredients, to getting the equipment, the tools, and putting it all together, it was all worth it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's to me, that's what the work is. That's what the groundwork is. That's really what it's all about. All right, what's my goal? How I'm gonna get there? What it looks like? How long will it take? Okay, cool. This is what I'm gonna focus on. See, because when trying times come, when that trials and tribulations come, when it's raining and I'm ready to quit, I'm gonna remember my goal. And I'm gonna remember that hope that goes with it. I'm gonna pull out that umbrella and I'm just gonna say, yo, I'm good. I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna keep going. Sorry about that, having a little malfunction. But
It's
look,
all
we're
good.
gonna keep going. I can't hear you, but I know y'all can hear me. So we're gonna keep going. And so, like, so
Right.
as I got that umbrella on and I'll keep pushing because it's not gonna rain forever. And because I danced in the rain, because I embraced the rain, I'm gonna appreciate that rainbow a little bit more.
Mm.
And so when I see that rainbow, I'm like, yeah, I did that. I got through it. I'm here. And so that's I can go on and on about this, man.
Man,
So I'm gonna cut the plug on me, and then we're gonna get to the next question.
man, listen. Oh man, listen. Monica just said, "Great message, Rashad." Look,
Thank you, Monica.
look, everybody, look, if everybody loves what you're saying, just like I look, I ain't gonna call myself a a a a, a, a genie or nothing, but I already knew what I was getting when I brought you to the table tonight. I already knew. And but one thing I want to do that I didn't do the last time, I want you to put out give everybody your information. So if anybody needs to get in contact with you, whether they want you for motivational speaking, they want to purchase your book, because I forgot to let you talk about your book the last time. I apologize, but tell them about your book, because I need people to know who you are, because you're gonna be a celebrity in no time, and I'm be like, yeah, I had him on my show twice, but y'all know about that.
So man, like B Max said, I'm an author, I'm a motivational speaker, and honestly, I'm just a regular human being like you. You know, I'm just a young man that's trying to make a difference, and I want to feed people the opportunity to help them accomplish their dreams. So I have two books out there. One is they're both on Amazon. One is called Caution: Entering Construction Zone, and the other one is called Don't Burn Your Cake. So Don't Burn Your Cake is something that I love talking with analogies. And so I think when talking with analogies, it allows us to stick. You know, it allows us to keep it going. Another thing that I do have a website, is www.shodassociatesllc.com. On that website, you see some videos of me speaking at different schools, and then you have opportunity to purchase the merch. Also got some Don't Burn Your Cake hoodies. I got the shirts. So everything I do is all about getting messages out there. You know, it's like, you know, when you see a stop sign, you know you need to stop. So I put these positive messages on shirts and on my books, and try to ingrain them in people's head. So then that way they know, hey, when I'm going through something, this my pickup, this my pick me up. You know, like if you got a headache, you want to get some Tylenol. So if you're ready to give up and you see Don't Burn Your Cake, you're gonna be like, hold on, no, I can't burn my cake. I gotta keep going. I gotta keep dreaming. And so that's what that is. I think TikTok. So I'm on social media. On Facebook, I'm under Rashad Hayes. That's RASHADHAYES. But on TikTok, that's my bread and butter. We got something special going on TikTok. So on TikTok, like I said, my name is Scope with Shad, and that's SCULPTWITHSHAD. And I want to kind of give the people what that means. So when you think about a sculptor, they're taking this material and they putting in work to build it, and they're being very precise. And so with me, I can't change your life. Only you can. Only thing I can do, and I'm gonna say it again. I can't change your life. Only you can. See, because I want you to realize the power that you have. But with a person like me, I'm gonna stand right beside you, and as you working on you, I'm able to give you that advice and just give you that inspiration that you need. And so that's what I do on TikTok. Like, I wish y'all could see some of the comments I get on there. Like, man, it's just to know that I'm able to reach the world with just a video. And half the time I'll be talking to myself. But it's just like to know that people relate to it. It's just one of those things where I'm humbled by it. I'm excited, and even when I make it big and I'm this big famous person, I'm still gonna be the same me. I'm still gonna be the same smiling person, motivating. For me, I get satisfaction seeing everybody else win. That's why I don't really push. If you notice, that's why I don't really push too much of my products, because that's gonna speak for itself. I want you to be successful. I don't want to make a living off of you. Because if I love what I do, the living gonna come with it. Let's be honest. If I'm good at what I do, that's gonna speak for itself. I ain't gotta worry about nothing. I'm just gonna keep focusing and getting better. And so again, if y'all don't remember nothing else I said today, when it comes to hope, don't burn your cake. Cause you like that cake. And I hate for you to burn it and have to start over. So don't burn your cake. Like don't let your dreams go to waste. Don't let that pain be in vain. Don't let me get started. Let me go ahead and zip it up. Cause I'm on fire right now. I'm trying to pipe down and stay cool.
Listen, man. Of course, with the way you brought the heat tonight, we gotta get together again. I have to get you back again. I'm gonna have to see when you can wiggle me in the schedule somewhere, because man, you like you like Jordan in his prime. He got better as the game went on. Jordan didn't come out just dropping him. He got there. He hit a layup here, jump shot there. But as the game went on,
Yes,
get
sir.
here. Give here. It's my game now. Let's see. Let's see. Selena says, "Don't let that pain go and be in vain." Come on now. So man. Erica says, "Awesome message, Rashad." Hold on. And matter of fact, a friend of mine, evidently, she's having problems with her messenger. She says something. She says it's definitely all mindset because a lot of people have a hard time starting over. Sometimes it feels like each time we go through something, the harder we fall, it's hard to get back up. Although it seems easier. So I agree. Um, so people are really resonating with your message, and I appreciate you. Again, I knew who to call for this show. I listen. It's like, look, we down 5 with a minute 20 to go. I need you to come in the game and bring us back and take it home, and that is what you just did. Again, I appreciate you, and for those of you all, if you're on TikTok, matter of fact, you ain't even got to be on TikTok. Just get your, what I'm saying, download the app and find Rashad's page. It is worth the price of admission, which is free, but it's definitely worth it because he puts out so much valuable content, and it changes your whole mindset. If you're in a place that you really don't want to be in, it's almost like it's heaven sent because you'll just be scrolling, you be like, man, I think that one was meant for me. And like he said, he's talking to himself some of the time, but sometimes we got to give ourselves that straightening, but it's still meant for somebody else.
Right.
So again, check him out on TikTok, on his socials, Instagram and Facebook. And if you're looking for a motivational speaker, look, if you ain't heard nothing else now, trust me. In person and live and in person, I'm sure it's that much more impressive. So, or if y'all hear of somebody that needs a motivational speaker, and I know I got a couple of Deltas on here who are active in their grad chapters. Why don't y'all put on an event with a motivational speaker by the name of Rashad Hayes? And no pressure. But I have to plug my brother when I get a chance. But
definitely,
thank you, bro. I really appreciate it. I really do. And I know they appreciate you sharing yourself with us tonight. Tell your wife thank you.
Most definitely.
For allowing us to take up some of y'all quality time. Because it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to the viewers. That positive insight, that infectious positive hope.
Right.
It means a lot.
One last thing I want to leave with the crowd is, my favorite quote is this: "It is in the darkest skies that we see the brightest stars." Again, it is in the darkest skies that we see the brightest stars. So whatever you're going through, whatever you witness, whatever you experienced, don't let that pain be in vain. Use that as a way to shine. See, because for the average person, it's going to break them. But for you so special, you make it your playground. You smile, you keep going. And so that's all I want to leave with the people, man, is that believe in something to fall for anything. And most importantly, you should always believe in your ability to bounce back, because I believe in you. I don't got to know you, but I believe in you. And I want to be able to sit back and say, hey, I think that person watched my video before and look at them. Now they got their own Fortune 500 company. Like, I want to be able to sit back and say like that. And so I tell anybody, I'm just waiting on the world to catch up to my gift. Simple. I have nothing to prove to nobody but myself. I'm just waiting on the world to catch up because I'm still going to put in work.
Right. Well, listen, Selena just said, thank you, Rashad. Keep doing what you're doing. You have a gift, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
So with that being said, we're going to close out for tonight. Thank you all for taking an hour out y'all evening on Sunday night. Rashad, again, thank you, brother, for being here and blessing us with some powerful insight. Yes, it has been amazing. We're going to talk offline, but thank you. It means the world to me. And without further ado, I'm gonna close out. And Rashad, I'm gonna let you have the prayer tonight.
All right. Everybody, if you driving, don't bow your head. You just keep driving. Just listen to my voice. But Lord, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for allowing us to come together to just express hope. Lord, I ask that you continue to bless those that are sick. I ask that you continue to bless those that are weary. And Lord, I ask you continue to bless those that are in great strength and great health. Lord, we thank you for everything you do for us. And Lord, I ask that you continue to watch over us during these trying times. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Listen, without any further ado, thank you guys. I love you all. I look forward to seeing y'all all next Sunday. And check out Rashad's TikTok. If you can't make all the socials, go to his TikTok. And that is Scope with Shad.
Yes, sir.
You will not be disappointed. And with that being said, God bless y'all and good night.